This meeting
This meeting's being recorded. So, okay, welcome. First of all, I'd like to welcome our online participants. So we've got around 13 residents online, so staff members and residents. So if we could all give them a wave just to welcome them. Welcome everybody online. Fantastic, thank you very much. And we're going to flip over to the presentation. So welcome to Green Streets Community Assembly, now known as People Powered Places. And I'll explain that in just a moment. Okay, so for those who don't know me, my name is Saeed. I'm the area manager, so I cover the Plaistow and the Green Street neighbourhood. And we're going to go over the schedule for today. And on your desks, you will find on your tables, you will find a program for today's session, and we'll move through that quite swiftly. I'm going to give you a quick overview on housekeeping and some general introductions. We've got lots of activities today, so I would like to make sure that you're all engaged and all involved in today's process. We've got councillors, we've got working group members, we've got all different types of residents coming together today. Okay, next slide, please. Just a sound check, can people hear me at the back? Yeah? All good, thank you. Okay, so some housekeeping, and this, if you didn't hear at the beginning, this meeting is being recorded. If you would not like to have your photo taken as part of the council's promotion on social media, can you please let us know, or let my colleagues know if you would not like your photo to be taken. For our participants online, it would be great if you could leave your cameras on, but you are more than welcome to turn your cameras off. We have today two wonderful BSL interpreters, so if you do need the support of a BSL interpreter, please do make yourself known to us, and we'll provide some support for you. Okay. These events do not happen without an amazing team, and I work with an amazing team. So I'd just like the staff team just to raise your hands or stand up just to show who you are. Yep, I'd like to just go around quickly. Start with Fatima.
My name is Andrew. I'm the coordinator of the Plaistow Green.
Okay, go.
Hi, my name is Akila. I'm local.
Great.
I'm a conservation coordinator.
And with everybody knows Jobrul. Jobrul is there, the man that does all the work. And we've got Sunita, and we've got Chris and Sophie. Fantastic. So that's the room team. So if you need any help or any support today, these are the guys. Just make yourself known to them, have a conversation with them, and they'll be here to help and support you. I just need to go back to the last slide very quickly. It's really important. You've all probably seen the different layout today. So just to ensure that you're all aware, we're not expecting any fire alarms or any emergencies today. So if a fire alarm does go off, it means there is an emergency, and all the staff team will take you out and meet at the muster point, which is at the bus stop. Hopefully that won't happen. We've got refreshments in the room at the back, and we've got welfare facilities just outside the room here. Okay, so that's all the kind of the housekeeping in that sense. Thank you. We will be doing a lot of activities today. So we've got 3 set activities. So what we would like you to do is to be very respectful. So when people are speaking, to listen to them, get involved, share what's on your mind, but do allow people to share their thoughts and their feelings, and try not to overtake some of the conversations if you are someone who's really confident in speaking. Hope that's okay in terms of ground rules. Is that okay? Yeah? Fantastic. Thank you. Okay. I mentioned earlier community assemblies. Okay. We've now gone through a rebrand. So we're now calling this program People Powered Places. I tried to say that really quickly, but it kept on going, so I have to say it really, really slowly. You're all here today, so hopefully you want to get involved in making a change, making a difference to your local community. And you are all part of the UK's largest participatory democracy budgeting program. That's amazing, isn't it? Don't you think that's amazing that you're part of this? That was really confident. Thank you very much for that, Andrew. I heard a little mumble there. Okay, so how many neighbourhoods, without looking at the screen, how many neighbourhoods does Newham have? You can shout it out. 8. Someone said 8 by looking at the screen, yes. Newham is split into 8 neighbourhoods. So Green Street, one of those neighbourhoods, okay? The mayor, councillors, and I'll introduce you to the council in just a moment, has allocated £1.6 million towards this programme. Each neighbourhood has been allocated £200,000 to make a change, to develop initiatives and ideas to address some of the main concerns of your local neighbourhood. And where does the money come from? The money comes from something called, are we okay? The money comes from something called Neighbourhood SIL funding. So this is called a Neighbourhood Infrastructure Levy. And this is where there's new developments taking place across the borough, these organisations, these developers contribute to the development of that local area. So they give money back to the local authority to spend on particular projects that help to grow the local area, improve public spaces and infrastructure, and improve the health and happiness. So any project ideas that you come forward over the coming months, they need to align themselves to some of these criteria. Okay, so if we just flick back again to the other one, thank you, Chris. Okay, so how many councillors do you have in Green Street? Need to hear? 12. Okay, Martin said 12. I'm going to ask the part. I'm going to ask part. Sorry, are we okay? Are we okay there? Yep. Okay, we had 12 by Martin. Any other get higher or lower? 9. Fantastic. So we do have 9 councillors in your neighbourhood, and I need you all to take a look at each of those photographs, those pictures, because these are the individuals you need to go and speak to where you want to share all the great things in your area. And also, if you have a few challenges, please do speak to your councillors. I'm going to ask the councillors if they would like just to say a few words in terms of welcoming this wonderful assembly today. Yep, so. Okay, so we've got a couple of mics here going around. I'll give the first one. So, Jobble, if you can get hold of the mic, please, thank you.
I'll go over here. Guys, thank you so much for coming up. My name's Lewis. I'm the councillor for Green Street West, and I've been involved in what were the community assemblies, what are now People Power Places, for what, 3 years, Saeed? 3 years?
2018 it started. Yeah.
2018, so a little more than 3 years, 5 years. I got into this job that I'm in now because 5 years ago I was sat on a table round here talking about what we want to see from our neighbourhood, how we can make Green Street a better place to live. And it's been a really rewarding experience. We've seen some amazing projects that have been funded with this money. We've seen things like the parklets on Green Street, opposite Lidl, where everybody goes and sits down and puts their shopping down whilst they're having a little break. We've seen improvements to parks. We've seen an amazing safety course run for women to help them feel more safe and secure when they're walking around the streets. But there's even more we can do. And that's why it's so great to see so many people here, because you guys have such incredible imaginations. You have such good ideas about what you want from the place. Discussions today are going to be really interesting for all of you. You're going to meet people who you've not met before, and you're going to get on with them. So I would urge you to bring all your energy, all your commitment, all your focus to this programme, and we will have some great conversations, I'm absolutely sure. I'll pass back to Saeed. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Councillor Lewis.
Hello, I'm Councillor Miraj Patel. I'm elected in Green Street East, as my colleague is Larissa over here as well. And we've got Councillor Harvinder Vidhi there, over there in the corner hiding as well. He's a councillor in Bolin. So you've got 4 councillors today with you. It's fantastic to see so many people here. I think a lot's been said about how powerful people-powered places or people-powered Green Street is going to be. So I'm really looking forward to working with all of you and seeing some fantastic applications, as we did in the previous cycle as well. I'm the Deputy Cabinet Member for Environment, so actually a lot of the applications that we get are parks or green spaces or community garden led. So I've got some interesting work that I want to do across that particular space. I've had a chat with this table here in particular, who are very involved in the community garden just at the back of this building. But I want to work with all of you in terms of how we can further our respective agendas. And it's great to see so many of you here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming along today. A lot has been said, but I'm not going to repeat on what my other 2 colleagues have said, but more importantly, is being part of an organisation. This is an organisation here we've got. It's the People Powers, which we can make such a huge difference by working together. And it'll be great when we get to see different projects coming on board to be able to deliver for our community. Everybody out there is our community. So that is what we want to do. I hope that the groups can join together and come in with really great ideas and bids to make sure that the allocation we've had of £200,000, we're able to use that over a 2-year period. Thank you.
Okay, everyone wants me to speak, to say a few words. First of all, thank you for coming. I feel so excited to see more projects, new projects, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Do you see how we forced Councillor Larissa to speak there? Thank you very much. So those are your local councillors. So please do familiarise yourself with your local councillors. They're very important people in terms of getting things done in the local neighbourhood. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to flip over to the presentation again. That's okay. I'm just having a look. That's a good question. Is there any councillors online? We've got Councillor McLean online, who's the cabinet member for this programme. We'll be speaking a little bit later. We're just seeing if there's anybody else. Any councillors online? If you'd like to unmute yourself. Okay, I don't think we've got any councillors online, so everyone is here in person, which is brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, so just some local information. In terms of, we've got 3 wards in Green Street. We can see in terms of ethnic breakdown, there's a high population of Asian ethnicity. The general health of Green Street looks to be very good. This is what the census tells us. In terms of Green Street as a population, it's relatively a relatively young population. So we can see the highest age distribution is between the age of 35 to 49. Okay, so who knows what the nickname for Green Street was or still is? There was a nickname that people used to know Green Street as. I know lots of people have been here living in the area for over 40 years. More than 40 years. It used to be called Little India. They used to call the place Little India. And it's very well known for its textiles, its fashion, its jewelry. So it has a brand around itself. And food, obviously. We all love food. Okay, so for those of you who've been to these assemblies before, yeah, who's new today? First time you've been to assembly, so we've got quite a few new people. Yeah, so it'd be great And we've got some online as well. Let me just see if you can raise your hands for those who've got your cameras on, new to the assembly. Raise your hands again, please. One. Yep, so we've got a couple of people who are new. So welcome to the assembly. So in terms of what we would like to do is just show you a short video, yeah, just to kind of capture the essence of what these assemblies are, who's got involved, what has actually happened over the last year. And hopefully we're going to see lots of innovative new initiatives coming forward. So I'm going to hand over to Chris to play this video.
Newham is one of the fastest growing, young and diverse boroughs in the country. We have over 351,000 people living in Newham.
Okay, so while the video comes up, obviously when we do things hybrid online, you usually get a few technical challenges. While Chris gets up and running, I've got a couple of some statistics and some facts. In terms of what is the largest town centre in Newham? Stratford has the largest town centre in the borough, but closely followed by Green Street. So Green Street is the second largest town centre. Yeah. Some other interesting fact. How many businesses do you think there are in Green Street? We can do a higher and lower. Someone shout something out. 700. Tarek said 700. 600. A lot higher. Who said 3,000? 3,000. 3,000 by Councillor Mirage. Any higher than that? Actually, Councillor Mirage, very, very close. The statistics that I've got here is 3,740 businesses. That's amazing. I didn't know that. I only read that today because we went to a meeting earlier today and it was on that. And in Green Street, they employ these businesses 10,280 people. So that's a phenomenal amount of people employed in our local area. Okay, how are we getting on with the video? Yep.
Hi, I'm Councillor Charlie McLean. I'm the Cabinet Member for Resident Engagement and Resident Experience, and I oversee People-Powered Places, the new brand of the Community Assemblies. We're currently celebrating the end of the second cycle. There's been a wide range of projects, gardens, playgrounds, compostable toilet. And there's been all sorts of different ideas that people have come up with. As time's gone on, people have got more involved and you can really see an excitement and a buzz amongst local residents.
I think it's definitely everyone's responsibility to get involved in local knowledge. At least you can bring your opinion and maybe even introduce something that just wasn't thought of before.
Platforms like the Assembly are really important because we're all part of this local community. I'm no less part of it by facilitating a project than somebody who's voted for a project and who comes along to the project. So there's a sense of cohesion.
We've evaluated the last two cycles and listened to people to see how we can improve. The cycle is going to be for 2 years next time around, because residents felt that they needed more time to develop their project and to deliver. We also introduced the Co-Create platform.
Newham Co-Create is Newham Council's online digital platform, and it's a way for us to extend our engagement online. It isn't replacing face-to-face engagement, it's just for us to extend it and to create a digital way for our residents to keep up to date with projects, to take part in engagement processes, to find out about the different consultation pieces that are happening in their neighbourhoods. We use it to recruit our working group members. We also use it to undertake our participatory budgeting exercise, which is voting online for the projects that residents want to see happen in their neighbourhoods.
Hi, my name is Emmanuel. We're at Newham Leisure Centre right now, currently running one of our youth projects, Youth FC. It's a football project for young people aged 14 to 18 to come down, release some stress and play football.
I got involved because I found a great way to just socialise, have fun, just relax, that time away from studies and everything. In my opinion, keeping your mind on one thing constantly is not a very good thing. It just puts my mind in a place where I don't have to think about anything other than playing football.
The name of our project is The Gliss. It's a drug curtailment and support for ethnic minority families. The Gliss was helping over 30 families.
Heard about this project through Instagram, and since then I found someone that I've been able to talk to. It has made us realize that as a family we can get through this and there is help out there.
The project's called Generation East London, and it consists of 3 projects: the deaf awareness training, self-defense for deaf and hearing women, and BSL storytelling. They're new. They educate. So they educate the East Ham community about deaf awareness, deaf culture. So we want to make sure that the hearing community are including the deaf community.
It's called the Barber Connect project. So the idea is to network all these local barbers, then we can get all these young people engaged so I can impact them with this barbering skill as a business, and they could be responsible for themselves and for their future.
The name of this year's project is Welcome to the Channel Sea. It's a trio of 3 interlinked parts which aim to bring more people into the Longwall Ecology Garden. Anyone who walks along this path, which is many people every day, will benefit from the general care that we're providing for the space, keeping it clean and tidy.
We came up with the idea of the Neighbourhood Watch, try and use that as a way of giving people the confidence in their area again and just making people feel less comfortable committing crimes, things like fly tipping, things like vandalism, bring back that community feel and use the Neighbourhood Watch to actually say, you know what, there's a neighbour that can help you out, or there's somebody down the road who's looking out for you, to essentially make people feel safer.
Our project is called Ashok's Vision International, and it's a youth-led nature and biodiversity project where young people come and help improve the community spaces and green spaces. Research suggests there is a clear link between nature and mental well-being. So having to look after plants, it's so important for young people to have access to these type of activities.
We were discussing potential projects that could benefit the community, and this was certainly a project that was in the back of all of our heads. What it is developing the local park area near Warrior Square. It's been disused for quite a while, it's been in urgent need of repair. So we know that by developing it, by improving it, it's going to invite a lot more families to play games and just engage with the rest of the community.
So next year's will be bigger and better. There'll be more participants, there's more time, there's more money, so that people can really get involved and make a difference in their local communities.
It's very important for the community to initiate different projects. There is a sense of ownership when it's community-led, which leads to success.
You don't know how much your idea may benefit someone until it's in place. Definitely 100% go for it.
Projects have an impact on how Newham is shaped as a borough, And that's the beauty of Newham. It's like a vision that we have where we just continue growing and evolving and bringing new people into the idea of why residents should be involved in community engagement.
There we have it. So that's what's been achieved over the last number of years. And you can see the benefits and the positivity that has come out of these assemblies from environmental projects. There was a compostable toilet I saw up there. Yeah. Public realm initiatives, community gardens, infrastructure, play equipment, all of these that have been taking place. And what happens with this People Power Places, it happens across the whole, when I mentioned earlier about the 8 neighbourhoods, so there are projects happening in each of those neighbourhoods to address some of the challenges that impact the lives of residents. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so People Power Places. Again, I have to say that very slowly. People Powered Places. Today, we're here to look and decide on what your local priorities are. We needed to revisit the priorities because we had a standing priority for Green Street for the last 2 years. And obviously we had the pandemic. So now it's an appropriate time to actually see what are those priorities that impact you that are current. And we're going to spend some time doing that a little bit later on. Step 2, we're going to be meeting again in July, and we'll be talking about some of the solutions, some of the projects, some of the ideas that can address the key priorities that come out of today. Residents will be given the opportunity to apply for up to £5,000, and community, volunteer community and faith sector groups, we can apply for up to £20,000. Okay. There'll be an opportunity to vote on the projects, and we'll talk about how that's going to work. And successful projects will be delivered within Newham at the beginning of next year, and then we're going to celebrate the success. So that is the 6 steps to the community, to the People Power Places assemblies. Thank you, Chris. Okay, so just to give you lots of information today, lots and lots of information. We will publicise everything that we talk about today on the Council's Co-Create website. You'll also find hard copies in your libraries and your community centres. So if you do need to revisit these, please do go to the Council's website. Please do come and visit your libraries and your community centres. So we can break this cycle down. It's a 2-year cycle. So last year, it was a 1-year cycle, and we heard and we listened to what the residents were feeding back, and they were saying 1 year is not enough. So the councillors, the mayor, the cabinet members then looked to that and then increased it to a 2-year cycle. So looking at this cycle, we're going to split it into 2. So the first half of the cycle is about talking, deliberating, generating ideas. And the second part of the cycle is about implementation and delivery. What we've learned from previous cycles is that a lot more support needs to be given to community groups at the early stages. So they've got a great idea, but they may not know or may not understand how to deliver those, so they can come and discuss it with us and your working group members. I'm going to introduce you to your working group members a little bit later on, but they play a very key role, and they're volunteers who want to give back their time to support our neighbourhood. Okay. That's where we are now in May. Did anybody go to the launch in Stratford? Yeah, raise your hands. Yeah, I can see quite a number of you. Yeah. So that was the launch of the assemblies on the 27th of April. We're here in May, and we will be coming back again in July. Thank you, Chris. So why are we here today? It's to actually meet each other. Yeah. You've all been involved in the assembly, in the community. You've had various roles, whether you come to the library, the community centres, whether you've seen on social media, whether you're staff members, whether you're councillors. So you're all here because you want to make a change. You want to make a difference. You want to hear what's going on in your area. We're going to touch on what the council's priorities are, what the mayor and our cabinet members have assigned, what they're going to be doing during the administration. You can have the opportunity to go around each of your tables and discuss those priorities. And we've got table facilitators who will help you to do that today. And then finally, a bit of fun, we'll do a bit of voting. We're going to vote on those key priorities, and they will be the set priorities for the next 2 years. Okay, so Active 200, I've done a lot of talking. I think I need a bit of a break now. I think it's a bit of talking for you guys. So, and this is for our colleagues online as well. We're going to break out for 15 minutes around your table. Your table hosts will ask you some questions, and there's 2 questions that they're going to ask you is, what do you love about Green Street? Let's start off with the positives, yeah? What do you actually like about the area in which you live in? And then the next question will be, what would you like to change about your neighborhood? Okay, so it's really important. It's just to get an idea of what people are thinking and what we can actually talk about. I hope that's okay for everybody online as well. Okay, so if you can, table facilitators, if you spend 5 minutes on each question, and then we'll go back and then we'll have a bit of a roundup on that one. So you've got 15 minutes and over to the table facilitators. Everyone's back in the room? Brilliant. Okay, so there were 2 tasks. The first task was to talk about what you love about your area. So let's have a look on screen. If you can hopefully all see that. There's still some noise coming from the back. If I can just focus on this slide, please, that'd be great. So things that people love about the neighborhood. And this word cloud shows where people have said lots of things at the same time. The words are expanded. So we have a look here. Things that people love about Green Street. Shopping. I think most of us agree with the shopping. Yeah. A vibrant market. Diversity. Transport. Friendly. Shops. Food. Convenient. Busy. Walking. Facilities. So lots and lots of positive things that people are discussing and raising about the area in which you live. So that's brilliant. So thank you very much for that. We'll look at activity 2. What do people want to change in the area? I think that's really, really important to actually see what people want to change or want to improve. There we go. Rubbish. I think this resonates across the whole of the borough. Lots and lots of neighbourhoods are saying the same thing. So what we want to be hearing from you all today is how we can address that. Are there creative ways? Are there innovative ways to address some of those issues and concerns? Crime, cleaner streets, fly tipping, social housing, more green spaces, more public toilets. This is what people want to see improve and change in the area. Too much traffic, drinking fountains, road repairs. So there's lots and lots of ideas and thoughts that are coming through. Good afternoon, sir. Okay. So thank you very much for that, Chris. Hope you all found that useful. And when words are really illuminated and expanded, that means lots of people are saying the same thing, okay? And that'd be really interesting to find out later on when we go to voting on your priorities to see what actually comes up. Okay, so thank you very much for that, Chris. So this next slide, I'm just going to go very briefly. I won't go too much into depth about Newham's corporate strategy. This is where your councillors, your mayor have actually highlighted the manifesto, highlighted what are the things that this administration will be. Okay, what your council and this administration will be focusing on over the next 4 years. So we're just going to go and share a short video, and it will just kind of set the scene. Thank you, Chris.
Newham is one of the fastest growing, young and diverse boroughs in the country. We have over 351,000 people living in Newham and are the 3rd fastest growing borough in London. Over 7 in 10 residents are from Black, Asian and ethnically diverse communities. We are at the heart of a new, inclusive economy. We are home to international districts like Stratford and the Royal Docks. Stratford has become the busiest station in the UK. We now have the 3rd highest rate of jobs growth in London. However, we have deep-rooted inequalities. A quarter of our neighbourhoods are the most deprived in the UK. After housing costs, almost half of our residents live in poverty. The cost of living emergency will disproportionately hit our residents. But we can build on the solidarity of our partners and communities, mobilising cross-sector organisations to deliver over 200,000 parcels to those who cannot afford to get food, working with businesses to increase the number becoming London living wage employers, getting people to pledge their commitment to improving people's health and well-being via our 50-step strategy. We are focusing all our energy as a council to build a fairer Newham. We have developed 8 priorities to support residents through tough times and live happy, healthy and well. What will this mean for residents? We are already starting to deliver on these new priorities. For example, providing over £250,000 of assistance to families with food and energy, and securing £600,000 to help residents get their benefits. Expanding our team of community safety officers to keep people safe. Agreed for £1.2 million to invest in children and young people with special educational needs and disabilities. Providing over £800,000 of grants to grassroots projects through our community assemblies. Launching a cost of living crisis response to work collectively across the borough to support our residents during these hard times. Examples of what we'll deliver over the next 4 years include delivering another 1,500 social rent homes our residents can afford as part of a £2 billion investment in housing delivery. Developing family hubs to provide wraparound support for families. Investing £40 million in the coming 4 years to keep our streets and neighbourhoods clean for our residents. Pilot Stratford as a green zone to model an environmentally sustainable neighbourhood and develop our first green budget. Develop a network of data economy hubs in delivering our Newham Sparks vision. Find out more at our Building a Fairer Newham webpage.
Great, thank you very much, Chris. Chris, could I ask you, once you get a moment, just to turn the lights on the back on the side there, if you could? That'd be great. Sorry. Right, so there we see a short video kind of outlining the council's approach, what they'll be doing during the administration over the next, from 2022 to 2026. You can see that Newham is a young borough, it's a growing borough, it has great transport links, but it also has a lot of challenges around health inequalities, the cost of living crisis and poverty within the local neighbourhoods. So if we have a look up here, part of the strategy is to build a fairer Newham. And there's 8 key strategies, 8 key planks for this administration, which mentioned in the video around a healthier Newham, an inclusive economy, your neighbourhood, the safety, housing, support for young people, your people-powered places, engaging with residents around participation democracy, and a campaigning council. So these are the key priorities for this council, Newham Council. So out of those 8 priorities, and we're going to spend some time, I'm not going to go through all of these at all, but I want to just mention the headliners. There are 8 priorities and they've been themed into 6 themes. And those themes are what you're going to be discussing today. On your table, you should see cards like this. So table host, if you could just hold up the cards. Yeah. So these cards are what is on the screen here. And they've got some key facts, which your table facilitators will be talking about. What are the key facts about health and well-being? So I'll just go through one of them. People in Newham have poorer health outcomes than that of the population overall. Okay, so these are some key facts about each of those. So hopefully after the activity that we're going to go through in just a moment, your thoughts and your ideas will align to one of these key priorities. So those key priorities I just mentioned overline. So health and well-being, an inclusive economy, environment and public spaces, community safety, youth empowerment, and community development and participation. So those are the 6 themes. If there are themes that are not outlined here, please raise them with your table host. Okay, so your priorities. So what we're going to try and find out today and define today before we leave is what are the 3 key priorities and key themes that are important to you as residents. I've mentioned that quite a few times today. Your local priorities, and those local priorities will be set for the next 2 years. And residents are going to apply for £5,000, community groups apply for £20,000. Thank you, Chris. But based on that, do we have any questions? I've got our councillors who are around the room today, and I did see Mohammed, but I think he's made a swift. Mohammed is here as well. Yep. So if there's any questions that I can't answer, we've got colleagues from housing as well. I can see arrived as well. So if there are any questions that you've got, please do raise them. So I'm going to open up the floor on the floor, and then I'm going to ask any residents online as well. And we have a mic. Jobble has a mic. So are there any questions following that? You don't have to ask questions, but if you do, there's an opportunity to ask some questions to the floor. Don't be shy. Okay, have a little think. Can we go online to see if anybody's online? Do we have any questions in the chat online, or any questions that people want to unmute?
No questions yet, Said.
No problem. That's fine. Mohammed, you got away with it. Didn't have to answer any of those tricky questions. Brilliant. Okay. However, during the session today, if there's any questions, please do approach ourselves, the table host, if there's any questions that come to mind. Is that okay? Yeah? Good. Okay,
Sorry, Said, I have one question.
Okay, please go ahead, Sadia.
We have a resident who's asked, will there be any support to develop your ideas? It's a really good question.
Great question. Thank you very much. That's a great question. So when I highlighted that cycle, the 2-year cycle earlier on, there's going to be opportunities for residents to come and approach the council, the neighbourhood team, and talk about their projects. So if there are any ideas they're unsure of or want to find out more, come and approach us. We will help you. Also, what we are putting in place is we're putting in specialist expert clinics. So where you've got an idea or an initiative that you just need a bit more help with, we will put you in touch with our colleagues within the council. So if it's an issue around planning, around parks, around public realm, we can put you in touch with the experts who can give you a bit more advice and guidance. Hope that's answered that question. Any more questions, please? No? Okay. We're going to back onto the slide now. Okay, so activity 2. I'll get another break now, and I'll get a longer break this time. I can go pop to the shop. Okay, so this next activity is, I mentioned earlier, you've got your themes on the table. What you need to do, table facilitators, they're going to talk through, and what you're going to do is actually have a little bit of a discussion around each of those themes. Hopefully, the ideas that you come up with around the priorities that are important to you fits within one of these themes. There will be overlap, which we understand. If there's something that isn't, your table host will make a note of that. And what we would like you to do over the next 30 to 40 minutes is to identify and discuss collectively as a group what your key priorities are for your table. This doesn't mean that these will be the priorities set overall, because we'll have a voting on the priorities that come up from each of the tables. Hopefully that's clear, but my colleagues around the table will explain that. And then at the end, we will ask each table just to give a summary, just a one minute summary of what you discussed around the table. What we would like you to do is not to make it a personal summary, but what your group has talked about. So there's a theme around the groups. Okay, hope that sounds okay, and hope everybody online. So we're going to have about 30 minutes to talk about that, and we'll give you a 5-minute notice just before that. Okay, so enjoy the next 30 minutes, and we'll look forward to hearing what the priorities come back now. Thank you. Jobble, you've got the right mic. We're just going to go around the room very briefly. a quick 1 minute update on some of the discussions that you've been having. So which table would like to go first? If you could just raise your hands. Brilliant. So we've got Amelie's table is going to go first.
Hi guys. The individuals on my table have chosen, and in no particular order, environment and public spaces, health and well-being. But I think the common theme that we thought was the most important is community safety. And I think all three of them almost tie into each other. For example, if you've got a really good environment and public space that encourages health and well-being, and where there's health and well-being, there's community safety.
Great, thank you very much. I was very succinct, so thank you very much, Ashton. Okay, so we've got, okay, table at the back, Afia's table. If you can pass the mic over to those persons. And we're going to come online in just a minute, so get ready, Sadia. Okay, so feedback from the back there.
Hello. Right. This table, we have a huge discussion, and we came up with different from the other table. We said inclusive economy. We said about environment and public spaces, and we talked about youth empowerment. The reason we said this or agreed on this, without this, all the problem will remain, because no matter how much good our environment is, if every family has poverty, there will be safety issue and crime. And the biggest asset we have is the youth in our community. And if we can give them a good starting in their lives, they will change their environment. They will make the society and our community a better place. This is why in this table, we've gone for these three. However, I have to say all 6 themes are very important. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. If you could pass the mic down to the table at the end.
Hi everyone. Yes, so our table, we went for environment and public spaces. We thought this kind of focused a lot on that, I think, just kind of primarily around Green Street, the busyness, the pollution, kind of just the experience of kind of walking down and seeing a lot of litter is not really appealing. Even though Green Street brings many things culturally and kind of experience-wise, it just feels very congested and dirty, was what kind of feedback we got really, what we discussed. I think kind of latching onto that, health and well-being was a big one. Just, I guess, air pollution, that causes a lot of health problems. Further to that, we talked about kind of services, so just long wait times at GPs, services going kind of more remotely now, not really kind of being a substitute, but actually speaking to your GP in person, and actually, you know, seeing how the patients are getting on rather than, you know, kind of just passing them on to longer waiting times, meaning that there's kind of the potential for, I think you mentioned, you know, in Newham, there's a lot of health problems that are kind of occurring in, you know, kind of younger people, like for example, diabetes, like in the 30s, 40s, rather than in, I guess, 60s or later on in life. Youth empowerment, I'd say at this stage we were just voting. I agree with the gentleman over there. I think all 6 are really important. But I would agree, and I'm sure we all agree, that youth are, there's a lot of young people in this area, so they will carry on, take forward these ideas. So it's really important to instill them with the opportunities and the confidence to kind of speak up and actually make this area great for the years to come. So that's our three.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm just checking the time. We're running a little bit short on time, so I'm just going to flip on to our online group. to give us some feedback. And if we do get time at the end, I'll just catch up with the other two groups. I hope that's okay, everyone. So, Sadia, your group, please.
Thanks, Syed. We had a really fruitful discussion, and a lot of the themes really were pertinent to our residents on the call today. And I think there's about 4 that they'd like to take forward. So the top one was community safety. We talked about health and well-being. We talked about community development and also environment and public spaces.
Great. Was that 3 or 4, Sadia?
4. We struggled. There's such great themes.
Well, that's not fair, is it? Because then people they want all 6. Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much, Sadia and the on team here. So I was going to ask Chris. So from all the feedback that has been received, is there any priority that hasn't been mentioned?
None of the rooms selected community development participation.
So community development and participation was not mentioned or raised as a priority for this assembly. And
Only online. So it was our colleagues online, our guests online did mention it. So
they did mention it.
They did mention it. So
okay, so that means that all priorities were mentioned, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so what that means is that every priority was raised by a group or online and our colleagues online. So that means that now that all 6 were mentioned, you will now have an individual vote individually, and your table hosts will explain how that would work. So I'm just going to flip over onto the presentation slide again. So what's going to happen is your table hosts, we're going to use something called menti.com. So those of you who have got a mobile phone, we've got laptops and we've got iPads. So Ricky, if you could just stand up a minute, please. So Ricky has these iPads where you can put your votes down, and we're going to explain that process to you. And online, Sadia and Merdine will explain how that process works. So if you have your phone with you now, if you can look at this and type this into your phone, if you have one. If you don't, you talk, have a conversation with your table host in just a moment, and type in www.menti, that's MENTI.com. Okay, so I'll just give you a second or so just to type that down. Next 3 years. So again, let's give ourselves all a big round of applause to find out what those priorities are. And just to confirm, they are different from what was set 3 years back, which was crime antisocial behaviour, parks and green spaces, and fly tipping and littering. Okay, so it's a really worthwhile exercise to actually identify the changes. So thank you all very much for that. We're almost coming to the end. We've got about 10 minutes to go. So, but before we do finish off, I would like to introduce you to your working group members. Last year, we had 10 working group members who are part of the program. I think Councillor Rissa wants to say a few more words. Is that right? Okay, so your working group members will be committed to supporting the development of the community assemblies. They'll be your key points of call throughout the next 2 years. What we have learned is our working group members will be coming out and actually meeting you. We're going to improve the way that we do that over the next 2 years. So our working group members that are here today, if you wouldn't mind, if you're okay, just to maybe stand up, if you can. Okay, and we've got working group members online as well. If you can give us a wave, working group members online. So I can see 2, Valmira and Mina. Any more? Syra as well. We've got 3. So we've got 3 members online. So these are your working group members. Remember the faces. So when you see them in the street, go up, approach them, have a conversation. So we only met them earlier this week after a recruitment campaign, and we will be developing that relationship. So next time the assemblies come, we'll get our working group members to give some feedback. Okay. So back onto the slide, please. Okay, so we've come officially to the end of the presentation that I'll be given. I would like to just hand over the closing remarks to Councillor McLean, who is the Cabinet Member for Resident Engagement and Resident Experience. So, Councillor McLean.
Hi, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant, great stuff. Oh, that was really glorious. Huge thanks to everyone for coming. It was really good to hear the ideas that are already being generated in our group online. You know, there's lots of ideas that people have of things that they would like to change. So I'm looking forward to the next meeting where, you know, we can start to develop some of those ideas. And don't worry if your particular priority wasn't chosen, because, you know, there's a lot of crossover, and I'm sure that if you have a particular project idea, it could be tweaked to fit into one of the 3 chosen priorities. So I just wanted to say thank you so much to the working group members. Welcome. Looking forward to working with you. A lot of hard work ahead, but it's worthwhile work. Also to everyone in the room and those online who have joined. And tell your friends, tell everyone about the wonderful work that's happening here at People Powered Places, and see how you can get involved with you and your community. And my last thank you is just to our wonderful staff from the neighbourhoods team and from resident engagement, from the participation team, because a lot of hard work does go into making this happen. And my last thank you, because I've just seen him there, is for Ricky, who is our ICT Supremo, who, you know, does help to facilitate the hybridness of this. So huge thanks to everybody. Thank you so much. Have a safe journey home. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor McKean. So just the last bit before everyone runs away is on your tables, you've got some evaluation forms, and we've got a QR code that my colleague online will be filling out. Please do fill those evaluation forms. We want to know how we can improve and how we can get better. Thank you to the room team, councillors. If you just bear with me 1 second, I've got a colleague from housing who just wants to say a last word, but thank you for the team, working group members and councillors.
Just bear with me until I get onto the right page. Hi everyone, thank you for attending today. So my name is Naz, I'm from the resident engagement team within Housing Services. Just wanted to promote an event we're having on the 20th. Just wanted to promote an event we're having on Monday, the 26th of June at Stratford Town Hall. So it's a local area forum for this area, and we're particularly interested in council residents and leaseholders to attend. Benefits of this is you'll get updates from the senior management team, and that will give you an opportunity to have your say on how we shape the services for you all, and you influence decisions and help shape the service that you guys receive on a day-to-day basis. If you do have some time at the end of the event, please do approach me to take more details. There will be flyers and leaflets going out to all of your blocks by next week. There will be contact numbers for people to contact and book yourselves in, or you can do the self-service booking yourself. I speak 4 languages, so don't be shy to approach me. I'll speak your language if I could, and I'll promote this for you guys. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and hope you have a safe journey home. Take care. See you on the 17th of July.
Thank you so much, everyone. That was wonderful. See you on the 17th.
Okay, thanks all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Nadine, it's just